Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball bi-weekly figure news video. We're going to cover the last 2 weeks of everything that dropped in the world of Dragon Ball figure news. And I am very excited for this video because today we're going to be talking about not only everything that has dropped, but everything that dropped at SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con. We got a ton of awesome reveals from the event. I will be showing you all of that in this video. Don't you worry about that. SDCC finished up yesterday when I'm recording this video. I think it'll be 2 days when you are watching this video. And I always do like to wait a day before recording this video when it comes to talking about everything that dropped at SDCC. I believe this was last year and maybe the year before, but sometimes Bandai tends to like to announce something a day after the convention ends just to, I don't know, kind of extend the hype or something like that. But I am glad that I did wait a day because we actually have some extra information and images on the MUI Goku that I covered in the V-Jump scan video earlier. Well, I guess it would be last week, right? So we will be seeing some more images of him, in-person images as well, I believe, from one of the employees at Bandai. So definitely look forward to that, wherever that is going to be in this video. And also don't forget to check out my Gogeta figure unboxing from last week. That was a very fun video. Definitely really like that figure. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. Obviously, we always start off on dbzfigures.com. Starting us off, we have the SH Figuarts V-Jump 30th Anniversary Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Now, we did talk about this guy, funny enough, in Goku's video, the MUI Goku video, and they announced in the issue of V-Jump, right, from the 21st of July, that this guy is going to cost 6,600 yen. So what is interesting about this is that, who wrote this article? Is it Shinra? Yeah, Shinra noted the same thing that I did, right? This guy looks awfully like last year's NYCC Super Saiyan Blue Goku with new packaging, designed by TOYOTARO. Obviously, this is a TOYOTARO piece of art for Super Saiyan Blue Goku right there. I'm not sure if this is a Japan-only thing, but V-Jump readers will also be able to purchase this through the online app. You can also view this figure through the Tamashii Nation store in Akihabara, and they'll be hosting a 3-day hands-on event through the 15th and the 17th if you're in the Tokyo area. So, here's what's interesting about this guy, right? Here is the figure. This is the Kaioken V-Jump Special Edition version of this figure, right? This guy, to me, right, I think I have a pretty good eye when it comes to figures, looks exactly like this guy, right? This was the NYCC exclusive Super Saiyan Blue Goku. In fact, is that not the same production image right there? Let me go to the end. Yeah, that is literally the same image, just with a little bit of a different text on the end. So, what it seems like is that this version of the figure is just going to be one that comes without the Kaioken background. Obviously, this is something that was included in the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. A lot of the time when they do these convention-exclusive, color-exclusive versions of these figures, they like to give them these key aura backgrounds, not only so that they can jack up the price a little bit, but obviously to make it feel a little bit more like an exclusive. So that makes sense. This guy, right, did cost 60 USD for Premium Bandai and at New York Comic Con 2021. So I suppose the price being 6,000 yen, I think DBZ Figures said that it was 6,600 yen. But regardless, it's about the same price. So I guess that's good. But the thing that kind of is a little unfortunate is that I guess in this case, Japan is getting a little gypped because they're not getting the, like, Kaioken blue background. Though, to be fair, in terms of conversion rates, they're technically getting a better deal because yen to USD, like, is a lot lower than this exact equation that it kind of used to be a lot closer to, with like 6,000 yen being 60 USD. But I digress. I think that that is just a fine price to charge. Maybe they could have made it like 5,000 since they didn't include the aura, but very interesting they are just re-releasing this figure. I guess it's because that this guy was only available in the United States, technically, until now. You could never actually get this guy in Japan unless you imported him from the US, which is kind of weird because usually it's the other way around. But yeah, that is Super Saiyan Blue Goku. We did get a Dragon Ball Weekly News for July 17th. And they basically just talked a little bit more about the exclusives for SDCC. And they also showed off the... Oh boy. We talked about this in a couple of figure news videos now. Unfortunately, this guy, which is a super overpriced figure, unfortunately, despite how amazing this guy looks, the real McCoy, Goku, and Gohan. Are they not going to zoom in? Yeah, there we go. Obviously, this figure is really cool looking. Of course, Gohan and Goku riding the robot there. Or the mech, I guess it would be more like the mech motorcycle thing. Toriyama loved drawing his vehicles. So, this figure is super cool, but obviously we already established in a previous video that it is just way too overpriced. And it's really unfortunate because, like, especially looking here, the details on this figure look immaculate, if I do say so myself. And you can see, even compared to the real McCoy Goku riding the dinosaur, it's so much bigger. Oh, they don't have a zoom in of that. Interesting. I thought they were going to zoom in on the two figures side by side. But yeah, you can see that it's even so much bigger than that, but it's certainly just not worth the price, unfortunately. Regardless, though, the figure definitely looks pretty cool. Now, ooh, two pieces of interesting information coming up here. So, first of all, we had the Dragon Stars Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Majin Vegeta go up for pre-order. They will be available in October. I believe we did talk about these guys already. Obviously, Dragon Stars are the action figures of the Dragon Ball figure world. And again, obviously, like I always say, from a collector's standpoint, I'm not really too big of a fan of these, but I think if this was just a toy that you were giving your kid, this would be awesome to have a Majin Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Goku figure. That Super Saiyan 2 sculpt isn't terrible. I've definitely seen worse. I've absolutely seen worse. It's kind of interesting that they use the stick method for the Halo. A lot of Dragon Ball figures now, when they do the Halo, they kind of have a little tab that plugs into the back of this. But to be fair, I guess a giant stick sticking out of his head is probably a lot more sturdy than that, which would be more delicate, right? But each of these figures will cost you 25 bucks USD, which I think is just a fine price. I will say, out of everything that Bandai makes, by golly, I think the Dragon Stars figures are priced at just the right spot, honestly. So if you would like to pick these guys up, they are available at Big Boy Toy Store, and they will also be available at regular retailers, I'm sure, because I always see these in like my local Target, GameStop, whatever it may be, right? So pretty cool on that front. Alright, so here is a very interesting one. We will take a look more at some images of this guy a little bit later in this video when we take a look at Tamashi's Instagram page and whatnot. Actually, I guess to be fair, we could just take a look at it right now. But the SH Figuarts Kid Goku Tamashi Nations. So this is a Kid Goku figure, right? That is a newer one, right? The first thing announced on the official site today is another Goku figure. This time Kid Goku from the original Dragon Ball series. It is very similar to the original Kid Goku from a couple of years ago, but it looks like this one has a new hair part, giving him a powered up look, which wasn't in the original release. And interestingly enough, the only place that you can pick up this figure will be the Tamashi Nation store from August 4th, and he will cost about 3,960 yen, so about 40 bucks-ish. Again, the conversion rate's kind of whack on yen right now. But he will also be in the Tamashi Nation store that is opening in New York for $36. Will these get bigger? Yeah, okay, so these images will get a little bit bigger. Let's actually look at this on the Tamashi Nation's Instagram. Do they have it there? They have them actually on display, yes, because it'll be easier to scroll through the images a little bit. So this guy is only going to be available at these two places, right? Which is kind of interesting because it seems like, you know, more people would want Kid Goku than just having him at two exclusive brick and mortar stores. This figure does look really good. And like we talked about before, this guy is very similar to the previous release. Oh, we're also going to talk about that GT Kid Goku later in this video. They had a SH Figuarts Kid Goku that actually released, here, let me pull it up. That released a couple of years ago. As you can see, 2019 is when this guy came out. Also coming with Nimbus. This guy is a bit of a classic SH Figure Arts figure, even though he only did come out in 2018. Sorry, that curly face caught me off guard. But regardless, right? Obviously, this is a pretty iconic SH Figure Arts figure, right? Tons of different images for the boy here. But they are making a new version. To me, it definitely looks like that the body was updated a little bit. But it is a bit hard to tell, right? Because obviously, we would have to kind of find a shot of like Goku's knees being a little bit open, which I guess is right here. You can see that the joints are visible, and it is very similar on this one. It looks a little different to me in terms of the body. Like, I swear his arms look a little bit different, but it could definitely be a same body sculpt with different heads, because you can tell that the head sculpts are certainly a lot more anime-esque, right? Is definitely the kind of look that they were going for with these guys. It is really, really interesting, right? I guess this is supposed to be the specific version when he is fighting Demon King Piccolo, right? So that makes sense. As you can see, he also has been recolored to accurately depict his anime appearance, right? Features new sculpting. So, definitely, right, a little bit of tweaking on this guy. I will say the only unfortunate thing is that this is a Kid Goku figure, and it looks like he's not going to come with any pieces where he's smiling, which obviously is kind of like a Kid Goku iconic thing. But again, I guess this is supposed to be... Sorry, I keep clicking on the wrong tab there. This is supposed to be more like serious Kid Goku when he's fighting Demon King Piccolo. So, I will say, in terms of this being an exclusive, right, that I know people are probably going to be like, bruh, this stinks that this is an exclusive figure, because this is something that a lot of people would want. There is a lot of speculation right now, again, just speculation, that this guy will probably be available on Premium Bandai eventually. I cannot imagine that this is a figure that they're only going to keep limited to brick and mortar stores. However, it certainly wouldn't be the first time that Tamashii has done something like this. I believe I think it was only exclusive color versions, though, that they've done stuff like this. The exclusive color Android 17 and 18, and then also the Super Saiyan God Goku and the SH Figure Arts Nappa and Beerus and Whis that were exclusive color versions. Those guys eventually went up on Premium Bandai, but this is obviously like a whole new figure, kinda, right? Because obviously there was a original Goku, so it's kind of a little bit of a weird in-between. We'll have to see if they actually decide to give this guy a proper release. If you are, by the way, going to the Tamashii Nation's New York store when it happens to open up, definitely send some pictures my way on Twitter, and I'll see if I can't include them in a video. But yeah, so very interesting on Kid Goku. I'm really hoping that they actually decide to release him more than just that. Ah yes, so on to some SDCC news. So we had a lot of interesting stuff happen at SDCC. First of all, since we're on this page, right, let's go ahead and hop over to the Tamashii Nation's Instagram page once again. They did have, do they have an actual display? They just have a video of it, I guess, but this will do, right? This was pretty cool. They had a giant balloon of Cell Max, as you can see. I don't know why my video quality decided to... But they had a giant balloon of Cell Max, which was really cool. There we go. The quality got a little better. And over to the side here, you can see that there is actually a big statue of Gohan Beast. If they're going to pan over to it, it looks like it's not. I don't like Instagram videos because you can't actually like scroll through them. But anyway, if we exit out, you can see that there is also a Gohan Beast statue on display, which is really cool. Interestingly enough, there was also the Kid Goku that we just took a look at, right, that was on display at SDCC, along with Godzilla. I thought there was going to be more pictures of Goku. Yeah, on display was Goku, which was pretty cool. We'll talk about GT Goku in a second. At the SDCC booth, the outside Dragon Ball exhibit, they also had a really, really cool diorama on display, which was awesome. A bunch of the different arcs. They tend to do this with SH Figure Art stuff whenever there is an SDCC, and it's pretty cool, obviously having all of these different things set up. Interestingly enough, you can also see that there is a small little teaser for a upcoming figure, that being the SH Figure Arts Master Roshi, because we actually don't have this figure yet. So that is a pretty cool little preview. Obviously, we have Vegeta. Funny enough, they're using a really old Ultimate Gohan right there. I believe that is like the 1.0 Ultimate Gohan. Yeah, somebody commented it right there. It is absolutely absurd. That's so funny, yeah. It's so weird seeing this guy compared next to these other ones, right? Posable figures have certainly come a long way for Dragon Ball. Obviously, when you have posable figures, of course, joints are always going to be a little bit of a compromise to the figure sculpt, right? Because you're always going to be seeing some joints on a posable figure. That's just kind of the way that it is. But man, do these guys all look so much better than the Ultimate Gohan here, right? Obviously, again, it's because the figure's really, really old. It's kind of interesting, though, because obviously, like, the newest Ultimate Gohan that we have is the superhero one, but obviously he's in the purple outfit, so, you know, it makes sense that they're using the orange outfit because it's supposed to be, like, Tournament of Power Gohan. So that is pretty cool. By the way, I know this is completely irrelevant, but holy cow, bro. SH Figure Arts Gear 5 looks so sick, dude. I might have to pick that up. I'm not even that big of a One Piece guy. We had the Goku on display, actually. This was at the Jump Victory Carnival, which was in Japan, which was pretty cool, going on at the same time as SDCC. The SH Monster Arts Blue Eyes White Dragon, by the way. That guy looks amazing. It's kind of a shame that he's got to be held up by a million stands, but definitely looked pretty cool. Here was the other display that I wanted to show you, right? There was the other set of images that they had of the close-ups of all of the different pieces of the diorama that they had. Here's a close-up of Roshi. It kind of looks like his glasses are a little bit crooked, to be honest with you. There's our boy 1.0 Gohan repping out here. Very cool. Orange Piccolo again. Another close-up. Cannot wait to get that guy. Also, Broly. They should have definitely tried to close the armor on that, because you could definitely get that with that sculpt. But anyway, regardless, right? The other thing that I wanted to show you was this. Do they not have like an actual image of it? Okay, I don't. Oh no, here it is. I was gonna say there's no way they don't have images of it. So this was the other thing that they showed at SDCC, which is really cool. Both of these are prototype figures for the SH Figuarts Mecha Frieza and King Cold, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that I never thought that SH Figuarts would tackle, more so King Cold than Mecha Frieza. Because, like, dude, look at these. These look so good. Obviously, with the recent-ish, I mean, I guess it's not that recent now, but with the recent kind of fumble of the SH Figuarts, the Ichiban Kuji, King Cold, and Mecha Frieza, right? People really didn't like how those figures turned out. It is really cool to see that SH Figuarts is going to be making a Mecha Frieza and King Cold figure. Definitely very excited for that. Did Tamashii Nations put anything else up on Twitter for that? It's basically the same images between Instagram and Twitter. So, I mean, it's like mostly the same stuff, but I always like to double check just in case. Yeah, it is quite literally just the same images. But these guys look really awesome. I know a couple people on Twitter were asking my opinion on these. I honestly think King Cold looks even better than Mecha Frieza, in my opinion, which is kind of wild. Because Mecha Frieza looks great, but oh my gosh, dude, King Cold is just so sick. This would be awesome as well, by the way, to have Frieza, King Cold, and Cooler. If you have all three of those figures, that is going to be an amazing setup on the shelf. That will be awesome to see these guys. I really wonder how King Cold is going to scale compared to the rest of the Frieza family, right? Because when I look at this, I feel like Frieza looks a little bit more bulky than the standard SH Figuarts Frieza. I guess the most recent release of him would have been like the Resurrection Frieza, right? Where you can attach the halo to his head. I feel like his head looks so much bigger than that Frieza, and he just looks a little bit more chunky, which makes sense because obviously in Z, the style of the characters, they're a lot more bulky than they are in Dragon Ball Super. So it makes sense because obviously, you know, it's just more anime accuracy. But King Cold looks huge, and Cooler is already a decent figure, so it's going to be interesting, decently sized, I should say. I mean, he is a decent figure. So it's going to be interesting to see how big this King Cold actually is, right? Like, if he's just going to be as big as Cooler, that might be a little bit disappointing, but to be fair, when it comes to Cooler's final form, I suppose King Cold might be, like, that tall, I guess? I don't know. King Cold's a big dude. But regardless, really, really cool. We will be getting more information on these guys eventually. A lot of the time when they show these prototypes at events and stuff like that, they tend to give us the information a little bit later down the line or kind of sooner-ish. They don't usually give the information right away when they show a prototype. They show a prototype and then kind of let it simmer for a little bit. So we'll see how much these guys end up costing. It'll be interesting to see if they are one set or not. I'm kind of assuming that they are not going to be, only because of the fact that you can see they have two different name tags. Because usually if they are one set, I believe on the little name tag it would say Mecha Frieza and King Cold, because, you know, it'd be coming in one pack rather than, you know, being two separate figures. So it looks like to me that they'll probably be two separate things. But regardless, only time will tell. I can't imagine that King Cold won't be like $90 or more, maybe even more expensive than that, maybe like $120. So we'll have to see how much these guys end up costing. But yeah, very, very excited for these guys. This might be like my one King Cold figure that I own, to be honest. So that will be pretty cool. But yeah, that was the majority of stuff that they showed. There is a couple more things that we will take a look at as we go through the Dragon Ball figure news here. Oh, and look, here we are. So, another figure that they showed off in recent time, this was a little bit before SDCC, was a SH Figuarts GT Goku. This guy kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. As you can see, here he is on the Tamashii Nation's Instagram. This was just like such a random release. Like, they basically just dropped it and bam, there he was. So very, very interesting about this guy, right? You can see that he is, I mean, of course, the GT Goku outfit, but the face sculpts are very reminiscent of Kid Goku. However, you can tell that it's not exactly the same as the Kid Goku we just took a look at. Like, let's take a look at this image right here. The hair is a lot more squared off than if we go up to this Goku, right? This hair is a lot more round. Again, a lot more accurate to that era of Dragon Ball, right? Which is really, really cool that they're trying to go for that much of anime accuracy, right? So, at first I was thinking, dang, did they just like reuse Kid Goku's faces? But no, they didn't. And in terms of GT Goku, right, I was kind of wondering if they were just going to reuse like Kid Goku sculpt. But to me, it does look a little bit different, right? It's obviously very, very similar. But to me, it does look like slightly different. The V cut is definitely a little bit deeper, and you can see, I mean, obviously the colors are different, right? But the feet, I think that the ankle sculpt is a little bit different. Let's actually here. Let's open it up on the Tamashii Nation's. Oh yeah, they also showed them off there too, which we'll take a look at in a second. Kid Goku, where are you, my boy? We'll actually do it the opposite way, where we look at Kid Goku from Dragon Ball on Instagram, and we'll look at my boy on Twitter here. So it definitely looks like a little bit of a different sculpt, right? Like if you're looking at this side by side, let's go back to the one where he's just standing there. It is slightly different, right? The V is definitely a little bit deeper cut. Obviously, the shoulder pieces seem like they are a little bit different between the two Kid Gokus. And definitely, I think the bottom, the feet, right, is something to keep in mind. It is literally just a black ball joint and then the foot there. Whereas with this guy, you can tell that it is the pant part and then the ball joint and then the foot, right? As well, Goku's feet are a little bit different. They're a lot more rounded off here than they are pointed with the GT Kid Goku. So that is pretty cool, I will say, at least that they gave these guys different sculpts. Because I could have absolutely seen this guy just being a, you know, like basically recolor of SH Figuarts Kid Goku. But it's nice to see that they actually decided to give this guy a little bit of love in that department, which is really cool. We also have a 360th boy. You can zoom in on that? Yeah, very, very cool. Again, if you are a fan of Dragon Ball GT, this would be a really, really cool figure to get. I will say, the awesome thing that would be something that you could do with this guy for sure is you could absolutely get this guy and then get the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and recreate LR 8th anniversary GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So that is pretty cool for sure. Again, no information on a US release at the moment in terms of like from Bandai directly, but it definitely seems like this guy is going to be a general release because, as you can see, he is going to be 5,500 yen, including the 10% tax. Okay, so I guess that's probably what the price discrepancy was when we were talking about earlier in the video, but he is actually available right now at Big Bad Toy Store for $53.99, and he will be available. I see here it says that in Japan he'll be coming out January 2024, but it looks like here in the States he will be coming out in March 2024. 54 bucks for this small of a figure, by the way, I will say is definitely a little bit of an ask. He does come with a couple different faceplates and obviously comes with a Kamehameha effect, but I will say I definitely think for a figure that small, he is pretty overpriced. I mean, this is also coming from the guy who got SH Figure Arts Pan, and Pan is even more expensive than this guy, I think. It'll definitely be a little bit around the same price, but it is definitely still cool to see this guy in action. I actually want to check, does Tamashii have some of the 3D renders of the other figures that they talked about recently? I don't know if they have one for Goku, which we're actually going to talk about him in a second. You can't even click on that. Okay, interesting. That's just not a clickable. So, yeah, here we go. This is what I wanted to look at. Basically just turn him around. Yeah, it is quite literally just the convention exclusive version of Goku, unfortunately. But I mean, to be fair, it's nice that Japan is getting him at all. Okay, so on to our next piece of figure news. We do have the Prime Studio. Oh, actually, before I move on, I'm sorry. I know I'm a little bit all over the place in this video. I'm just really excited. Where is GT Goku? That was what I wanted to show you because he was on the actual page on display at SDCC. Yes. So they had 3 versions of him, which, I mean, it's all the same figure. They just wanted to show different poses of him. Definitely looks really, really cool, for sure. I definitely like this pose a lot for Goku, and this face sculpt looks really good. They did a pretty good job, honestly. It's kind of funny, by the way, that they say pre-order now, but like they don't tell you where you can pre-order the figure. I don't know, it's just kind of a little bit silly. Also, these pictures are a little bit blurry, I think, because the figure's like more far away on the display, and I'm assuming it's behind glass. But yeah, this is a good point, though. The comments make some other interesting things, right? It would be cool if they do have him come with a tail, right? And not to mention, this guy makes a fair point. If they eventually make a version that's Super Saiyan 3, I don't know if that will be a separate figure. I mean, I would assume so. I'm sure that when this guy comes out, I'm sure probably custom head makers will go crazy with different heads for GT Goku, right? You can have like a Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 3, whatnot. But I digress. Definitely looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Anyway, back to the Prime 1 Studio Mega House Frieza. As you guys know, the big boys over at Bandai have been trying to get into the resin statue game recently, and the third figure for this Prime 1 Studio Mega House set is going to be Frieza. He doesn't have interchangeable heads, and he will actually, I believe there is a golden Frieza. Yeah, the jump calendar lists a golden Frieza for this line, but no information on it yet. And he is going to cost, oh my gosh, what is that number? Pre-orders start July 21st to mid-September 2023, and he's going to cost 242,000 yen. So that's like a lot. That is a lot of money right there. I'm pretty sure that, hold on, let's do the conversion real quick. To yen to USD. How much is that? Wow! That is one expensive Frieza right there, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow. We will see some more HD pictures of this, so I'm not going to go on this just yet because, you know, these pictures are really small. We'll see some pictures from Baggy later in this video on this guy, but that is kind of a big ask. It'll depend on how big this guy is, if it's worth it. I mean, resin statues, the ones that are really, really good and are like thousands of dollars, if the detail is just insane and they're literally giant, then that might be worth it. But if this is only like 1 foot tall and that's how much you're charging, yikes. Anyway, what is my boy doing here, bro? I didn't even notice him there. So, a little bit of an update on the SH Figuarts Ultra Instinct Goku. This was pretty interesting, right? So, obviously, we didn't know too much about him, but the Tamashii Nation's Instagram page did give us a little bit more info on this guy. Unfortunately, this is actually the only image of this guy that we have. They didn't show us any other promotional images for this, which is really interesting because obviously when they show a figure, a lot of the time, you know, they show a bunch of different angles of the figure. So it's kind of interesting that they're keeping a little secret. And again, later in this video, we'll see some more images of this guy in person. But some interesting information for this. So, this is actually going to be called the SH Figuarts Son Goku Ultra Instinct Toyotaro Edition. That is literally what they are calling it. So, obviously, no mistaking that this guy is supposed to be based off of Toyotaro's artwork, which is really cool. Not only will this new item feature an updated sculpt with new face and hair parts, right, so again, confirming that basically the body is the same as the original MUI Goku, modeled after mangaka Toyotaro's unique designs, but will also come with the Dragon Ball SH Figuartspedia, a special book that includes interviews with product designers, photographers, Toyotaro himself, and more. The book will also contain a full catalog of every item released in SH Figuarts Dragon Ball lineup until April 2024. So, this guy is basically going to be a special edition that comes with this book. It is essentially like a art book, basically. If you are familiar with this sort of thing, if you collect figures or collect anything, a lot of the time, figure companies will release a book that kind of documents their entire legacy of all of the figures and toys and stuff that they have created for a specific toy line. I know that Lego does this type of thing a lot. I know as a kid from my local library, I'd be picking up the Star Wars Lego like encyclopedia books all the time. Those were so much fun to look at as a kid. So this is actually a really, really cool item, I will say. However, the one thing that I am worried about this, which I'm sure the book will be fantastic, right? The book will be awesome, right? I really, really like this a lot. And obviously you can see this is a page of the book comparing the two different Super Saiyan Gokus here. It'll be interesting to see if they also include all of the like event exclusive color editions, because technically this guy would have 3 versions of this figure, right? He would have the original one, he would have the color exclusive one that we saw recently with like the clear hair, and then we would also have the legendary Super Saiyan one. So it'll be interesting to see how detailed this book really is, if they actually show every single figure in here. I will be getting this, by the way, because I really, really want... Oh, actually, I think they show it right there. Yeah, funny enough, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah, no, that is definitely him right there. Okay. That's pretty cool. I don't know why he's not bigger on that page. I would like more images of that boy. Maybe they literally know. They were like, yeah, he's a little of a weird case. But I digress, right? Here is the one thing that I will say kind of stinks about this guy, right? Before I give you this big piece of information that I'll read and kind of give you my thoughts on that. This guy is only going to be coming with this book. And I know they make this sound like a good, crazy thing, right? Like, oh, it's going to come with this awesome book for SH Figuarts. But unless you are a hardcore collector like me or like my boy 86 Reviews, which you've probably seen in the comments of almost every Instagram post that Tamashii is fake. I love his YouTube channel, by the way. Go subscribe to him. I don't actually know him personally, but I watch his SH Figuarts videos. They're fantastic. Regardless, for collectors like us, this is awesome, right? I would love to have a book like this to document this sort of thing and document Dragon Ball collectibles, right? Because it's something I'm really passionate about. But for most people, they probably just want Goku, right? And it seems like that the only way that you're going to be able to get this specific Goku is if you buy the book with it, because he's going to come with the book. He's a bonus with the book. And the thing that's a shame about that is that that means that this figure is going to cost so much more than it normally would be if it was just Goku. I'm sure that it's already going to cost quite a pretty penny, But the fact that they are including the book in there, obviously for people who want both items, I'm sure it will be fine. But if you just want this Goku, that means you're going to have to pay this huge extra price for the book that you really don't want. You know what I mean? And I know that, like, this is kind of a weird thing to mention, but just because of how much I know Bandai, right? And obviously Bandai owns Tamashii, this... I hate saying this because, like, it feels like spinning something that seems like a positive thing into a negative thing, but just knowing Tamashii's history, or not Tamashii's history, Bandai's history, right? It kind of feels more like a big cash grab because they know that people are going to want this MUI Goku figure, especially considering how much people want the original one. Right? The original MUI Goku, because a ton of people still don't have that, including me. And so the fact that they're including the book with it, I feel like for just the general audience might honestly be kind of a bad thing because, again, to me, it kind of just feels like they're including this book to jack up the price of MUI Goku, right? Again, that's for one specific audience. For me, I am fine with this because obviously when they do books like this, a lot of the times they will include one of the figures or the toys that they cover, like I was talking about with the Star Wars Lego thing, right? I remember as a kid, I mean, the local library would take the minifigure out because obviously it would get stolen otherwise, but there would sometimes be a Lego minifigure included in one of these, like, you know, Lego encyclopedia books as like a little bonus thing, and you could only get it with the book, right? So, again, right, it's a similar type of thing. It's not abnormal for companies to do something like this, but just the fact that it is MUI Goku and a figure that people really, really want kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, which is such a sad thing to say. And again, it's not even a bad taste for me. It's just for the general populace, because I know a lot of people on Twitter are really excited for this guy. People who aren't necessarily like figureheads or figure collectors, they just want this guy because it's really cool. So it will be interesting to see what becomes of this. Two more things on this guy, and then we'll move on, because I know I'm talking a lot about him, but I'm just excited and want to talk a lot about this. You can tell I've been looking forward to this video all week. So, two things. This guy, as you can see, will be coming. Pre-orders will be available in late August, as well as the full details on this guy. I'm sure that's when we'll get all of the production images for him as well. So look forward to the end of August for this. Of course, I will do a video on this guy when he eventually goes up for pre-order. But you can see that we got official confirmation on how we will be able to get this guy. He will be available in Japan and overseas, aka our side of the woods, on Premium Bandai. So this guy will be a Premium Bandai figure. Funny enough, I don't know if the comment is still here, but oh yeah, yes, Premium Bandai. No. So this does, yeah. Funny enough, this person made the exact same comment. I bet they included the book just to inflate the price. Okay, so I'm glad I'm not alone on that. But I digress, right? The thing is, this makes sense to me that this is a Premium Bandai figure. A lot of the time, I kind of question Bandai's choices when they make figures on Premium Bandai, because you would think that, you know, for a general character that would be more fit for a general release, why would they put it on Premium Bandai? Because I would think it would make them less money, like Gohan Beast was a prime example of that. But for something like this, that is a book, that is like literally for collectors of this type of thing, right? Makes sense that it is on Premium Bandai, because it's a limited item. It's for people who are diehard fans of this stuff, and that's supposed to be the purpose of Premium Bandai, right? So it makes sense that something like that would be on there. However, obviously, right, when it comes to Goku, I'm sure that a lot of people would have picked this up if it was just a general release. Even if people have no idea who TOYOTARO is, or they haven't even read the manga, it's just a cool looking MUI Goku figure. So I'm sure that a million people, well, maybe not literally a million, I mean, maybe literally a million, I don't know. But I'm sure that a bunch of people would have liked to get this figure, right? Not had to go through Premium Bandai and not had to get him through this book. So again, right, we will see the details when he goes up in Premium Bandai in late August. Again, I will definitely be making a video on that as soon as it happens. I'll make a impromptu breaking news figure video on that, so keep your eyes on the channel for that. But we will see what becomes of this guy. The only other thing I want to mention about this guy is this person makes a fantastic point, right? that, right, this guy is talking about how they basically are kind of saying, now that we have this guy, right, maybe there's some more room for different characters that are like manga exclusive versions of characters, right, or forms, right, that could be represented in figure form now that we have this guy. I really want to go with the hopium that this guy has, because I would love that too. Like, if they made Ultra Ego Vegito, right, or Moro, right, you know that I would be coughing that immediately. Or Granola, bro. An SH Figure Arts figure of Granola would actually go so hard. But, right, the thing is, I agree with this guy that showing interest in this for more manga content is a good thing and is a good way to kind of like speak up about that. But I just kind of get the feeling with especially how much of a big deal that they're making with this, right? That the fact that it is a Toyotaro figure and it is this like manga exclusive thing, that it really feels like it's just going to be a one-off thing to me. I don't know if that's the case. Obviously, again, that's just me kind of speculating, but the way that they are presenting this information to me really feels like that is just going to be a one-off thing. So we will see, right? I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Like, I'm praying that I'm wrong, because I would love a ton more stuff from different Dragon Ball, you know, pieces of media that aren't necessarily just the anime, right? Like, I would love so much more. I mean, I like what we get from the anime, but you know, it would be awesome if we could get stuff from the manga, stuff from the games, right? Even more Dragon Ball Hero stuff. You know I'm the Dragon Ball Heroes guy. So we'll have to see. You know, this is literally just a time will tell. This is a good thing, though, that they are releasing a manga figure, regardless of the way that they are releasing it. Because, again, it will show them that people have interest in stuff from the manga. Anyway, moving on from the boy MUI Goku. I know that was a lot. We have... Oh, actually, never mind. We're going to go back to him in a second. But... this was pretty cool. They showed off, I believe this was at the Tamashii Nations Tokyo event. I don't think that this was at the SDCC showing of Tamashii stuff. Yeah, this. So this was pretty cool. They showed off in Tokyo a really, really cool display of all of these different Gokus from the past 14 years, which is Android 16. That's funny. Yeah, so obviously this is the new legendary Super Saiyan Goku that's coming out. We have the V-Jump exclusive Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. We have the new Kid Goku that is going to be coming out very, very soon. And this really, really cool display of all of these different Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2, right? All these really, really cool different Goku figures throughout the years, which is really, really awesome, right? We have the alternate outfit. Is this the G? No, that's not the GT one, because he doesn't have the yellow pants. That's the Kid Goku, right, with the blue outfit. We have the Kaioken Goku, right? We have the original Super Saiyan Goku. I think this is full power Super Saiyan Goku, right? We have the Kid Goku that's coming out soon there. Super Saiyan 2 Goku, 3 God Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, MUI Omen, and 4, which is really, really cool. It's just awesome seeing all these different things, you know, all kind of like put up together, you know what I mean? Wait, I just realized, where's base Goku? They didn't even include base regular Goku, bro? That's kind of interesting choice, I'm not gonna lie. It is really interesting to think too that like which ones of these are over-the-counter releases and which one of these are exclusives, right? Because like this guy is an exclusive. This, I don't know if this is the exclusive color version or this is the regular one. It's kind of hard to tell. This is an exclusive one, right? But this guy is a general release. This is an exclusive one. This is a general release. This is a general release if this is full power Goku that I'm thinking it is. It might actually be the original Super Saiyan Goku. It's hard to tell from how far away it is. This one is a special color release. So it's just kind of interesting taking a look at all this stuff. It's also cool to see they have these V-Jumps on display. It's weird that I have both of these in my possession. Yamcha also getting the cameo down there. It's kind of funny too because this is like a page that kind of folds out, so it looks like they kind of had to crease the page to actually get it on display. But yeah, oh, this person also made a comment about it. Where's normal adult Goku? Yeah, I don't know, maybe they just like forgot. I mean, like, maybe it's because they're trying to make it equal, right? They have 3 here, 2, 2, 1 in the middle, and then 2 there. They could have just put them down there. I don't know, kind of an interesting thing. But anyway, so the final thing that we have regarding MUI Goku, which again, I did talk about the fact that we're going to see some images of this guy here. As you can see, right, they once again talk about the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku in Japan, and the new... Okay, so interesting. Oh yeah, this features the new art by TOYOTARO and can be ordered through August 21st. Wow, that's a really small window to get this guy, but I mean, I guess to be fair, he is a, you know, exclusive, so I suppose that's fine. The second part of the video shows them talking about the SH Figure Arts 15th Anniversary Ultra Instinct Goku. The face sculpt looks very different, right, which we saw. I personally like the SH Figure Arts book that comes with it, and apparently it will be available on August 21st. Okay, so mark your calendars. That is when we are going to be seeing this guy with the book able to be pre-ordered on Premium Bandai. It seems like it's going to be August 21st from this video, so definitely will have to keep my eyes out for that. Oh yeah, Orange Piccolo also released in Japan recently, which was cool. So let's go ahead here, right? This is what I was looking at. Is that a... What is that? Okay, we're going to have to see in a second here. So, obviously, they show off a little bit of SSBK. We don't really need to see that, though, because, you know, we've seen SSBK a million times by this point. Skipping ahead, right, they also show off the art for SSBK. Obviously, it's a big deal for Japan because they haven't gotten this figure yet, but for us, it's like, you know, been there, seen that. So there's the cover, right, which we obviously saw in the picture from before. And here is the boy MUI Goku in a Kamehameha pose. You can see that it is pretty cool. Can I turn up the quality on this? Yeah, 1080p. Make sure that that boy is in HD. So there we go. There is Goku with a little bit of flowing hair, which is pretty cool, as you can see. Definitely like the look of the hair sculpt on that guy. It looks very, very nice. I think they're going to show more close-ups. Yeah, so this is the closed eye face. They are going really quick. Holy cow, boy, slow down. Okay. The play button's going to cover this, bro. I'm getting shafted left and right. That face looks fantastic, dude. Holy cow. They knocked it out of the park with that face. I know they showed that one in V-Jump. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. Yeah, so as you can see, right, it's going to be the normal head and then the kind of flowing in the wind hair head for MUI Goku, which is really, really nice as well. Definitely really cool that they're giving him two different hair sculpts there. Do we have any more close-up shots? Oh yeah, so they have a bit of a comparison between the two. It also looks like, at least from comparing the production images next to each other, it looks like the Toyotaro edition's pants are a little bit darker, a little bit more dirty orange rather than the bright orange, which I guess, to be fair, makes sense because obviously the bright orange version is like the more anime accurate one. They also did bring out both there. Which is kind of interesting. I'm assuming this is a prototype Goku. That's probably what that is. Yeah, you can see the two boys doing the Kamehameha there. It's kind of cool, too, because obviously with the flowing hair piece, it looked a little bit weird with the kind of side angle that they had for the Kamehameha, where he was like kind of pulling it back. But pushing it forward, I mean, obviously this is just Goku's standard hair, so it looks fine. But this looks so much better because obviously it's a little more accurate with, like, you know, the energy pushing back against his hair, and it will be flowing back. So that's really, really cool right there, for sure. They definitely did a very good job with that, I would say. Yeah, there you go. There's another shot of him right there. I don't know why they didn't, like, do a close-up. That's the only thing with the Dragon Ball Weekly News from the official, you know, just Dragon Ball site, right? Is that they never do enough close-ups, I feel like. They always have the figures, like, just kind of sitting on the table. But maybe that's sort of the point. Regardless, very, very cool stuff for MUI Goku. And that is actually going to be the end of our journey at Dragon Ball Figure News for right now, dbzfigures.com rather. But we are now going to move on to Baggy's Twitter for the couple of extra things that we had from SDCC, some more images and some more prize figure information. To start us off, I believe that this was not included in my last video. I apologize if it is, but we had the boy BOS Gohan come out, and you can see some different size comparisons between the couple of different figures here from this YouTube video, right? Obviously, this is the DXF Gohan, which I'm kind of surprised that he's bigger than the BOS one, to be honest. The BOS one being a small bit bigger than the BOS Super Saiyan Gohan, and as well, obviously, compared to the Ichiban Kuji one. As well, We also have him next to the Solid Edgeworks Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which he is actually a little bit small than. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. This person said maybe I won't get him because he's so small. I'm kind of shocked that he's that small. I feel like BOS figures tend to be on the small side a little bit, but I feel like never really that tiny. Kind of interesting. Here are some 4K images. This is some stuff that I know people have been probably waiting for. With some big boy stuff for, holy cow, this is a lot of images. We'll go through these kind of quick, I guess, because this will be sort of a lot to go through. 160 images. Okay, we're going to kind of shotgun these a little bit here to kind of show you the high quality images of these guys. So obviously, right, these are the SDCC exclusives that we got for this year. We talked about these guys in a separate video, and I'm actually going to have some more information on these guys in a second after we take a look at these images. Bandai did give us a little bit of an update about how we're going to be able to buy these if you weren't at the convention. Oh, that's really cool that the background says exclusive edition. So here's Raditz. Here's everything that he comes with. It's so funny that he has like a dash in his head, but obviously that's because of his goofy hairline. Yeah, obviously all the stuff that comes with Raditz. It's interesting that he comes with a little bit of a stand, but I guess that makes sense because you need a stand for Gohan. It does look like that he can kind of stand on his own, though, which is cool. Is this a piece that... This must... Yeah, I guess this is attached to Gohan and they just have it kind of behind him, because I was going to say, how is Gohan attached to Raditz like that? Yeah, they just have him on the clamp. I must have just not noticed it in that image. Gohan looks pretty cool. Obviously, there isn't a ton of articulation on him because it is just a small little figure, right? So it makes sense. Ooh, there is a little bit of overspray on that paint. For sure. Ah! Obviously, that's for the you being able to change the head and the hair, but holy cow. Oh, they also compare him next to that version of SH Figuarts. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird because obviously, since it's just the one pose, it's kind of weird that having this next to Goku, because obviously this looks so strange, like the expression for Gohan just doesn't really fit him compared to Goku. By the way, here is the new Raditz, right? The new one, I believe, is, let's just make sure, is the yellow armor, right? So the yellow armor for Raditz compared to the last release of Raditz, which was the brown armor. I feel like the... It's so weird. I feel like the more yellow armor is a lot more like Broly movie-esque, whereas like the brown armor is more Z-esque. I think I almost like the face sculpts on the other one too, only because I feel like the darker lines in his mouth and his eyes don't really like work as well. I mean, I guess it makes the features pop a little bit more, but I kind of like the subtlety a little bit more on the other Raditz as well. I feel like he's so much more bulky. Am I wrong on that? On the newer Raditz? I feel like even his like thighs are thicker, his arms are thicker. Maybe it's just because they have them in two different poses, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of interesting comparing the two. I almost like the face sculpt on that one better, but I like the shape of the face on the new one. Kind of a weird sort of dynamic. They're definitely like not crazy different, but they are definitely having some slight differences. Here is the SDCC Goku and Gohan close-up. It is nice to be able to see these guys very, very close up next to each other because obviously I know people were looking to see Goku. I gotta be honest, I'm not really a fan of Gohan's face and his head sculpt. I feel like the hair sculpt is like too wide almost or something. I don't know. The hair sculpt definitely feels like a... Oh my gosh! That is an old figure right there. This might actually be a bootleg now that I'm looking at this. But, hey, the face sculpt was a lot better there than on that one. That's for darn sure. Yeah, I think this might actually be a bootleg looking at it. If this is an official figure and I just don't know, wow. Yikes. I'm glad we've come a long way since then. To be fair, this guy I know was a very early SH Figuarts figure, so that does make sense. But... regardless, I don't know. I think like it's something about the hair sculpt on this one that I feel like just looks a little like too wide. I gotta say though, despite not really being a fan of Gohan, I love Ghost Goku, bro. I don't know. Maybe it's just the gimmick of having this like clear Goku, but it's kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. I think I really, really like it. That face sculpt looks fantastic for Goku with the screaming face. Holy cow. Ooh, from the side it does look a little weird, but yeah, that looks really, really cool for sure. Obviously, the Kamehameha effect is included. This is definitely not something that's included in there. I was like, what? They gave him a white aura? That's crazy. No, yeah, that's just something that they included for like Toyar taking the pictures of this guy. Yeah, he looks pretty cool though, if I do say so myself. I mean, even as just like a standalone figure, I think it's pretty cool. Oh, that's a really good shot though. That's definitely pretty cool with that face sculpt. Yeah, I don't know, like, it's just something of, okay, this face sculpt looks really good for Gohan. I would probably keep that one on. That looks, I think, is probably the best one that we've seen so far. Here is Majin Vegeta. It is cool that we're getting to look at this so quickly, by the way, because obviously we haven't had like crazy 4K images of these guys, you know, up until after the event. Obviously, Toyark was able to get their hands on these after the event, or during the event rather, and then obviously take the pictures after the event. But there's the aura effect. That face sculpt is pretty good for Majin Vegeta, I will say. I definitely like that smirking face. That one looks pretty good. The clenching teeth face looks pretty good too. The screaming, his forehead, bro. Oh my gosh. My man's cranium. Also the smirking face, or I guess that would be teeth grit face, like whatever you would call that, right? I think that one looks pretty decent. Yeah, definitely a lot better than the, this has to be like the official one. There's no way it's like a bootleg, right? Definitely the face sculpt is a lot better. I still feel like it could be better on this one, but by golly, it's a lot better than the original one. That's for darn sure. The original one almost looks like a bootleg comparatively. This is pretty interesting, by the way, how they changed the look of the aura. I definitely prefer the way that the original, like, SH Figure Arts backgrounds for the key aura looked, because it looks a lot more like aura flowing rather than like this sort of toy-esque sort of look. It doesn't look bad. That is a pretty cool picture. Toyark is really good at taking some pictures. Holy cow. And then, oh, the exclusive color edition Goku. Okay. I mean, we've seen some images of this guy before, but to be fair, I don't know if I've ever seen him up close, actually. I don't think I've ever been able to include this in a figure news video. And that face looks really off. His nose looks way too big, if I do say so myself. I'm really glad we're getting the legendary Super Saiyan version of this guy. That face doesn't look too bad, though. Because it's kind of clear that they based this one more off of the, like, 1.0 Super Saiyan Goku, right? And the faces on the legendary Super Saiyan 1, I feel like, are much better. Yeah, here's the original for comparison. It's clear that they definitely, like, just reused the sculpt for that one. And basically just, like, retooled it a little bit, changed the faces a little bit more. I kind of like the face on the original more, if I'm being 100% honest with you, which I know is maybe a hot take, but regardless. And then, yeah, we definitely don't need to see full power Super Saiyan Goku. But yeah, that is all of the images of these guys. Very, very interesting. If you are interested in pre-ordering these guys, was it this one? Obviously, if you are at the event, you could buy them at SDCC. However, they did mention that for all of these well, okay, they don't actually show the figures there for some reason, but these guys will be available for pre-order on Premium Bandai in August. They will also be available, I should definitely follow that account, they will also be available at the Tamashii Nation's New York store as well, right? Because a lot of the time when they release exclusive color versions, they have them in store and online too. So if you are interested in any of these funny gentlemen right here, will this be one big picture? No, it will not. If you're interested in any of these funny gentlemen right here, and you would like to pick these guys up, they will eventually be available for pre-order from Premium Bandai. Whoa, Premium Bandai for August. Happy to wait 6 months or so, man. I mean, this is kind of an interesting one. Like, this person talks about the fact that, right, they aren't really exclusives. If they, you know, you can literally get them at a different place. But it's kind of weird because I would say that, like, I don't know, exclusives are cool, but exclusives also kind of stink. Because at the same time, right, literally not being able to get your hands on a figure just because you can't fly all the way to a convention, pay for the convention ticket, the plane ticket, your food, your hotel, just to buy a figure. Like, it's cool that they're giving you an option to be able to get these online. Obviously, I'm sure for the people who are attending the event, it definitely feels a little less special. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, more people would be buying these online, I would think, than would be buying them who would be attending a convention. You know what I mean? Regardless, though, if you are interested in any of these guys, like I said, August will be the time for these guys. I will definitely, if not make a breaking figure news video on these guys, I will definitely have that information included in some kind of figure news video when it comes to the way that you will be able to pre-order these guys from Premium Bandai. And obviously then we'll be able to see if they just keep the prices from these guys, which I mean, I'm pretty sure that they will, right? Because obviously we already know the prices of these figures from this little doohickey right here, right? 90 bucks for Gohan, 85 for Raditz, and 75 for Vegeta, and 90 for Gogeta. I'm assuming that obviously there's going to be tax and shipping and all that stuff, but like, you know, I'm assuming that is going to be the base price, because obviously that was the price of those guys from there. So that is pretty cool. I'm glad that they're giving us the option to purchase those on Premium Bandai later on. Finally, moving on from the funny SDCC figures, we have the official height confirmation for the Matchmaker's Super Vegito. Obviously, as you can see, it says it's going to be 11 centimeters here. So 11 centimeters isn't taking into account the bottom of his boot and his hair. So this is what I always talk about, right? When I'm like, hey, don't trust the sizes of these figures. This is why. Because apparently they're doing crazy measurements like this. Like, dog, what's the point? Just measure the whole figure. I don't understand, bro. It's just a little silly to me. We also have a very interesting little factoid that I just wanted to share regarding the market value of Orange Piccolo. One potential good thing about Orange Piccolo on paper is that he should have a good thing should be he should have a high market value, being ratio 1, and of course modeling by our favorite sculptor here. But Japanese folks don't really seem to care about SH Figure Arts, since this guy has a last one figure 2, technically meaning 2 per lot, so his market value might not be that high. The market value of the original Orange Piccolo was very low, considering it was the first Orange Piccolo and ratio 1. None of the premium SH Figure Arts figures like SHF or the Figure Arts Zero ever sold out of reservations in Japan. Logical conclusion is SH Figure Arts aren't being sold enough in Japan. So obviously Baggy's kind of comparing this to like the SH Figure Arts Orange Piccolo in terms of the price, but hopefully that all means that this guy won't actually have too high of a price. Speaking of SH Figure Arts figures, we actually did get some finals of the Namek Ichiban Kuji. First of all, we had the boy Third Form Frieza next to the previous Ichiban Kuji Frieza, which is pretty cool. We'll see some more images of this guy in a second, but this is pretty cool. The packaging on the Goku is awesome, right? It reflects that specific page from the manga where Goku and Frieza are staring each other down, so that's pretty cool. And apparently the market value is lower than Baggy was expecting, around 8,080 yen. If it sells around 5,000 yen or less, that would be awesome. Yeah, that will be really, really cool to see. Hopefully with this guy obviously just coming out, the price will get lower over time. That's usually how it works when it comes to these Ichiban Kuji figures. Anyway, here are some in-person pictures from some people in Japan who got these guys. I gotta say, I don't know why this image is blurry, but Goku and Frieza turned out pretty well, I will say. Maybe Frieza's face is a little bit weird there, but I think overall, these guys turned out pretty well. Here is the third form Frieza, second form Frieza. Sorry, mixing up my Frieza forms here. This guy looks pretty good in terms of the sculpt. It looked really good on the back. Holy cow, I love the shading detail on this. I feel like you don't see that barely ever on SH Figure Arts nowadays. Or SH Figure Arts, Ichiban Kuji. I've been talking about SH Figure Arts this whole video, I'm sorry. Ooh, that's cool, Hercule too. Regardless though, the one thing that's kind of a shame about this guy is that the eyes being so deep in his cranium is that, like, if you look at him like this, it basically looks like he has no eyes. Like, you can kind of see the edge right there, but it's just because of, like, Frieza's eyebrows, helmet, whatever this is on Frieza. I don't know, whatever part of his body that his race considers this to be. You know, it kind of covers his eyes. So, kind of a little bit of an interesting sculpt choice there. Here is the last one version of the Goku and Frieza. Obviously, this one is more of the manga accurate colors to Goku. And again, I think these guys turned out pretty good, right? Like looking at these pictures, Frieza's face looks a little bit better here. I think these guys turned out great. I really want to get these two, if I do say so myself. Recently with these Ichiban Kuji figures, I haven't been like as gung-ho about like every single one I really want, but this is definitely one that I would love to have. Because these guys actually turned out really good in my opinion. I mean, very simple figures, but obviously a very iconic moment from Dragon Ball. Here is Krillin. A little short stack guy right there. Also, that's funny. Also turned out pretty good. Here he is with Gohan as well. Gohan also turning out pretty good. Gohan's cut, I think, for some reason, I will say the only thing with him, right, is that his cranium, I feel like, is a little too large. So he should have, like, squashed his head down a little bit more because I feel like it looks a little bit too long or something. It looks a little bit off. We have actually third form Frieza this time. And he looks really good, I will say. I think they did a very good job with sculpting him. We have him right there, you go, with his size next to all of the different figures that this individual was able to get from the Ichiban Kuji, because obviously it's a lottery. And shout out to the boy Trunks for making a cameo right there. Obviously pretty cool with the sizes. It is a little bit weird that I feel like Frieza's second form is smaller than third form, even in like bulk of his body, because obviously second form is taller than third form, but I guess it's just because of the sculpt of the figure. But like third form looks so much bigger than second form, even though second form would like be really taller, obviously, if he wasn't hunched over like that. Nonetheless, though, I think this set turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. Here is a unboxing of all these guys. This is pretty cool with having all these figures here. And yeah, there is Goku and Frieza. I think that they actually definitely did a pretty good job on the sculpt of these guys for sure. I really like how he turned out. By the way, obviously we're not going to watch through this entire YouTube video here, but if you would like to watch this is a 26-minute YouTube video of these guys going over literally like everything from this Ichiban Kuji, right? Literally comparing all of the different figures next to each other and whatnot, right? Again, this video is 26 minutes long. So, and also apparently my YouTube quality decided to set to 480p. The video does not look that bad, I promise you. So if you would like to see them basically talk about all the different figures, right? Obviously they got all even smaller prizes too and all that kind of good stuff. They even play the Ichiban Kuji. I will include this video in the description. It's always interesting seeing people in Japan actually play the Ichiban Kuji and then get the figures, because obviously we don't really have this experience stateside. So yeah, I will include a link to that in the description as well. We are actually almost done with this video, to be honest with you. We do have a couple more things though. The July Goku and Frieza is apparently now hovering around the 7k yen range, which is kind of crazy, honestly. Baggy was not expecting it to be this low at this stage, but you know, considering it's based off of this iconic image, but we can thank Goku Tax for it being so low. W. Yeah, because the other Frieza hovering around 10k, which was expected, and kind of expecting this one to be the same, but thankfully Baggy was wrong, which is good, obviously, in this case. This was another little piece of information that I just kind of wanted to include when it comes to this type of stuff. With the production images, right? Longtime followers will remember when we used to get updated production images, which would include the multi-angles for Banpresto prize figures, similar to how Taito do now, but ever since Bandai changed how they sent that information, we now get multi-angles immediately, and usually do not get updated production images. They're usually just the same ones that are put out. Again, you can see these different comparisons here, so that's why that's the case, because when Bandai transitioned their, you know, company in terms of figure making shenanigans, right? This was kind of one of the results of that. By the way, checked in on the market value for these bad boys, right? For the first time in months, and Cell Max is at 7k yen. LO Gohan is 6.5, even lower than Cell Max, which is crazy. And Boo is a whopping 17k. That's crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like Japanese folks don't really seem to care about S8, or this would be Superhero, by the way. I wonder if when I was saying that before, by the way, about Orange Piccolo, Baggy actually meant Superhero and not SH Figure Arts. I'm just so used to hearing SH and thinking SH Figure Arts. Anyway, I apologize if that's what Baggy actually meant for that. Yeah, good time to import Gohan then for sure if you would like to get this figure. That is kind of crazy that Buu is that expensive, but I mean, to be fair, it makes sense because obviously we have not had a Buu figure like that in a very, very long time. Low-key, I've been waiting to like find a figure that I really, really wanted to get before I decided to do that figure import video. Maybe I'll do that with Cell Max because low-key I'm not that interested in this specific Gohan because I'm just going to get some other Gohan Beast figures, but Cell Max, definitely interested in that bad boy. This was also a little interesting piece of information, right? The November history box Goku production images were taken in April and the special production images taken in June. And Solid Edgeworks Gohan production images were taken in May and special images taken in June. So it is kind of an interesting thing that the special production images are not taken at the same time as the regular ones, which is kind of interesting. So that makes sense why sometimes I guess the figures look a little bit different or, you know, just look a little updated, I suppose. But that is interesting to know because that means they have these boys cooking for a fat minute kind of in the back burner, which I mean, to be fair, I guess that makes sense because it's a company. Here is the different release weeks for all of these different figures here. You can see that obviously Gotenks is going to be Japanese week 2. I mean, both like in Japan is when the release weeks are. For November, right, Gotenks will be week 2, week 3 will be Gohan, and then week 4 will be Majin Vegeta. Week 5 will be the boy Gohan Beast. I know we're all looking forward to that one because I know I sure am. Obviously, we did cover this in the impromptu video that I did, but of course, I just wanted to, you know, throw this in here. This was obviously the V-Jump scan where we initially got Goku shown off, and as you can see here, right, obviously we have some production images that technically they didn't show, but they did show in the Dragon Ball news, weekly news, right? Obviously, this is the flowing hair head sculpt that we saw in that video attached to Goku, the normal head sculpt, and obviously the closed eye head. So that is pretty cool. This is also just a good thing to know. Obviously, the GT Goku will be made in China. It makes sense because I believe all SH Figure Arts figures are made in China, I think, as far as I'm aware anyway. We did have some more images of the boy Orange Piccolo, which obviously came out pretty recently. Again, this guy turned out very good. Very simple Orange Piccolo figure, but he looks pretty good. We have the release dates for both of these, the Spaceship and the Kame House pencil holders will be releasing in November in Europe. The only reason why I include these in here is because I think this could honestly be like a great accessory for a figure. Obviously, the capsule not having the top half maybe is a little bit weird. But the house, you could definitely just slap a panel over that. I think these would be cool little accessories for some kind of setup related to each of these locations in Dragon Ball. Definitely could be pretty cool. We did have some more pictures from SDCC. Obviously, they did have the boy Kid Goku on display, which is pretty cool. Innocent Challenger is what they call this guy. Obviously, tons of different photos from SDCC. Obviously, they had a bunch of Z figures on display, right? Vegeta came out recently. Obviously, we have the effect pack for Goku, right? Legendary Super Saiyan Goku right here, right? Not like Legendary Super Saiyan as in like Broly Legendary Super Saiyan, like, you know, like legendaries and like, oh, he's the first one. You know what I mean. We have Armored Trunks as well, and obviously the Trunks that came out recently too. Some different close-ups of these figures. Very, very nice looking Goku. I'm so excited for this Super Saiyan Goku, man. It's so funny that I can still be this excited for like just Super Saiyan Goku, but man, he just looks so good, bro. Yeah, they had this pretty cool little Z display case here. They had the boy Yamcha on display as well. Obviously, this is a figure that you can pre-order on Premium Bandai right now. It kind of looks like they put the face on him for when he gets yoinked by Dr. Gero. They also have the very, very much so overpriced Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta on display. That is the SH Figure Arts Anniversary one, and I think that is it for Dragon Ball besides these couple of images of Kid Goku. I will say, his mouth from the side does look a little weird, but it is kind of hard to make this very cartoonish mouth kind of look, you know, correct, I guess, from obviously a side angle, because, you know, Goku's face is very pudgy when he's a kid, so I suppose that makes sense there. And finally, for this little section, the metallic sheets for the Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji from... Oh, man, that really tripped me up right there. Sorry, that video, I was like, oh my gosh, my brain. The October Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji metallic sheets will be a redraw of these illustrations, which is cool. All this little Namek Saga shenanigans, so that is pretty nice. moving on from that, we did have a very interesting announcement from U2s. If you are familiar with U2s, they are a company that originally made figures of YouTubers, and now they have actually expanded out quite a bit. And they decided to make some Dragon Ball plushies, which is really, really cool. Obviously, these are like officially sanctioned. They're not like bootlegs. Poor looks so good. It's so funny because like this is the U2 sort of like style. If you've seen a U2's figure before, you would recognize this as sort of like the aesthetic they go for. But this just looks like Poir. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to style him like that because he kind of already looks like that. But man, that is so actually cute. I love the angry Super Saiyan 3 Goku as well. Oh my gosh, bro. It's so good. 9-inch plushes, by the way. So these are definitely pretty decent size. And Vegeta. Vegeta looks so funny with this little smirk. By the way, Wave Vegeta if he just cut off his hair there. Ayo. But yeah, pretty cool little plushies. If you're interested in this sort of thing, definitely would be something to cop. I know the Gohan fans will go crazy for this one. But high key, I might actually cop that Poir. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah, this was also a little bit of an interesting little thingy about second form Frieza, right? This is why I consistently say never spend more than $50 on any Bandai product. Yeah, they're charging so much more for lower quality. You can see that for this guy, right? This person is talking about how there's just, look at this paint, disgusting mess on the purple, even on the shoulders for Frieza here, right? Just like looks very, very cheap, almost kind of bootleggy, right? But obviously this is what it looks like right out of the box, and this is why it's always so hard to like recommend buying Ichiban Kuji figures nowadays, because you pay, you know, $1 million for one of these bad boys expecting it to be high quality since you're paying so much, and this is the quality you end up getting, which is really unfortunate, honestly. Here's the art that these little plushies are based off of, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Poir just looks like Poir. Poir literally just looks like himself. That's really funny. I see. This was also cool. Obviously, you saw that we took a look at this in the little video before, right? But obviously, the Cell Max that was on display. It looks really weird because it's like a giant balloon statue type of thing, right? That's why it looks kind of silly. Actually, at SDCC on the elevators, they had superhero art, which is awesome. Really, really cool. Bro, they got the boy AGL Gamma 1 and 2, AGL and STR Gamma 1. I know it's just their art from superhero, but it's kind of funny. By the way, this was... They had on display, as you can see, these very, very cool superhero figures. What's interesting is that I think this Piccolo is from a different display, because these are the SH Figuarts figures, very much so upscaled, right? They had these on display in a couple of other events, because you can see the joints, right? Like on the knee joints for the Gammas, and right there where they separate, right? You can see Gohan's leg joints, right, for the figure. They literally just made the SH Figuarts figures, but giant, and I would know because I'm literally looking at the Gammas on my desk right now, which is really cool, though. And obviously, they had the boy Gohan Beast. This is just a normal statue. You can see there's Cell Max deflated. Yeah, there he is. There's Goku. It's so funny. It's next to Lightning as well. But yeah, there is Cell Max deflated over there. Pretty cool, though, for sure. Very, very awesome stuff. Fenyu art. Yeah, the boy Orange Piccolo is also on display there, which we'll see in a second. The wafer stickers for November. So cool, bro. This one, that all the different pieces attached where they're fighting Cell Max. That is very, very sick. A awesome one of Orange Piccolo and Gohan's all of their forms, right, throughout the series. And I guess, well, I mean, for Piccolo, it's more like his just different iterations, because obviously he doesn't have that many transformations compared to the Saiyans. But some earlier Z stuff, which is pretty cool. This one's awesome, obviously taking the hit for Gohan. That's pretty cool. Oh, awesome, the intro. Yeah, that's really cool. Definitely awesome. I love the wafer sticker art, man. It's so sick. Very, very cool. Yeah, obviously we have some Majin Buu stuff as well. Love this little Vegeta one right here. That's a perfect icon. Somebody needs to make that their Twitter icon, bro. I'm surprised that nobody has yet. Oh yeah, here's the boy Prime Studio 1 Frieza, as you can see here, right? Apparently, it is also more expensive than the Goku and Vegeta of this, which is really interesting. And I gotta be honest, I don't even think his face looks that good. Like, if I'm keeping it 100 with you, I don't even think his face looks that great. It's just kind of mediocre, to be honest. So to pay that much for a figure like this is kind of a oof. Yeah, there you go. There it is in a little bit blown up, which is really, really cool. Definitely awesome. Yeah. Very cute Vegito, I agree. Never thought you'd use the word cute to describe Vegito for sure. But yeah, here's some more pictures of these guys. Obviously, this is like taken at the event. The orange Piccolo balloon that was also at SDCC had a very funny face. Again, it is a giant inflatable balloon, so of course it's going to look a little bit weird, but man... Look how they massacred my boy. For this, we did actually, so this was a good piece of information I really want to include in this video. On Amazon, we had the official prices for the Ichiban Kuji figures go up for this set. I am being very careful before I show you this because I don't want to dox myself because I am logged into my Amazon account. But here are the prices for all of these guys. Obviously, they have them blacked out right now, but we know what they look like because obviously, you know, it's this set with Gohan Beast as well being in here. You can see that Bulma is going to be $55 overseas. Goku is going to be $50. Frieza is going to be $50. Orange Piccolo is going to be $80. Right, that's this Orange Piccolo, by the way. And Gohan Beast is going to be $55. So it'll be interesting to see comparing these guys. Oh my gosh, an Endeavor figure, by the way. Holy cow. Sorry, my non-existent ADHD has been really acting up throughout this whole video, I guess. These guys, it's going to be interesting to see if just buying them from this overseas price will be more worth it than just buying them, like importing them and then bringing them all the way over, right? Obviously, you're going to have to wait until March of next year if you want these guys, or, you know, you could wait until when they come out in Japan and then import them if you want them a lot sooner than that. But I digress. It'll be interesting seeing the market value of these as time goes on compared to the actual overseas prices. But yeah, if you are planning on picking these guys up and you're not trying to import them, these are the prices you're going to be looking at. I will say, for modern Ichiban Kuji prices, these aren't terrible, I gotta be honest. It could definitely be a lot worse. And it could be, because this Gotenks is $60. And he's not as tall as Goku or Bulma or Frieza. So... definitely not terrible for modern Ichiban Kuji prices for sure. Moving on from that, all according to plan, we should get the December Bam Presto prize figure images by next Friday. So we will then obviously be hopefully seeing that Kaioken, Goku, and Vegeta. Obviously, we had a couple more pictures of King Cold and Mecha Frieza that were obviously taken at the event. We also did have a bunch of different angles. Here was the full area, by the way, if you're curious. Oh, we got some cosplayers over here. Here was the full little area. I think this was probably earlier in the day when there weren't as many people there. Oh my gosh, is that Super Saiyan Hercule in the background? That's an awesome cosplay. You can see that they also had some different displays, right, of some of the SH figure art stuff. Obviously, we saw a lot of this before, but... of course, having a bunch of the different figures on display, not only in this really cool diorama little thing, which we saw a little bit of before, but obviously this is like not the official images. I wonder if this is the Gohan cape that came with... no, this has got to be Piccolo's old cape, because it looks shaded a little bit differently than the Gohan one. I'm just going through these kind of quickly because obviously, you know, we saw these like at the different angle before, from the official images. But yeah, lots of cool stuff here. Obviously, most of these figures have been released by this point. I think the only one that hasn't is maybe Tien, I think, and obviously the Master Roshi as well. But this also is cool to see because it gives you a good idea of, you know, how you can like display your own figures basically in sort of like a diorama sort of thing. There's the boy Gohan Beast, by the way, obviously looking very, very good, if I do say so myself. I like that they gave his clothing a bunch of rips and stuff like that. They did a very good job with making it a little bit different from the original because obviously it gives you a little more incentive of buying the same figure again, just with a different head sculpt. Again, Orange Piccolo also looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. That face sculpt, man, still looks a little bit strange to me. Okay, so this is supposed to be the SH Figure Arts version of Gohan then, because you can see like the joints and stuff on his arms and legs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you can also see, obviously, they had a couple of other displays for Kid Goku. They had some different things. It's kind of weird that they just advertised that as Tamashii Nations New York. Here's some close-ups of Kid Goku, right? Obviously the GT one, looking very, very good. I think they did a pretty good job with that sculpt, honestly. Like, as good as they can do for a small little, like, guy like that. Oh, poor Yamcha! Obviously, having him on display at Doctor's Row. There is the re-release of Vegeta that they are doing. Obviously, we've talked about that guy a couple times before. Bro, I would have loved to get a picture with that Gohan Beast statue. Unfortunately, I don't live in California. Otherwise, your boy definitely would have been going. Also, I apologize that I'm kind of speeding through these, but obviously this video is very, very long, and I do want to, like, obviously include these in the video because, of course, I feel like it's important to, you know, show everything that was at SDCC, especially for those of us who weren't there. But obviously, I don't want to take a million years on this sort of thing because obviously we have seen them kind of a little bit before, but this is just a bunch of different pictures obviously taken around the event. King Cold looks so good, man. They did such a good job on him, I will say. I think they absolutely killed it on King Cold. Like, arguably, I think he looks better than Mecha Frieza, but Mecha Frieza still looks really, really good. Oh my gosh, they have that old, hold on, go back to that. They have that really old Gohan on display there. Holy cow, you can tell with, like, the shading and how the figure looks, how old he is compared to the newer boys there. Yeah, Trunks on display, a little bit of Frieza Saga shenanigans. Man, this hair looks so much better than this one, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that they re-released that guy like that. And now we are back at the beginning. So yeah, that was everything from SDCC basically, except we did have a couple more things. We had a couple different display cases that obviously we did not get to show yet in this video, where they had a bunch of different Dragon Stars figures on display, which is pretty cool. Obviously, Goku and Vegeta up front because they are the ones that haven't come out yet as well. Omega in the background too. These are all the different display cases. You could even see, funny enough, the Ichiban Kuji that just came out in Japan. They actually had that on display as well at SDCC, which is pretty cool. A bunch of different prize figures too. Very, very good looking stuff there. We also had the Limit Breaker, Gogeta and Vegito with their packaging, and they're coming out in Asia right now. These are definitely some renders that I think I've seen this Vegeta before, but this Gogeta might be new. Definitely looks like Fenyo art though. Very, very cool. Alright, we're in the final stretch, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is a very, very long video, but I appreciate you all sticking with me. Obviously, whenever we get SDCC information, it is always a ton of stuff to take a look at. We did have on display the Power Up Pack Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which is pretty cool. That obviously comes with this awesome little effect piece for the Dragon Stars Gogeta. A couple of other things on display, obviously, like we said, Omega, you can see there's Gogeta in a box. And some of the Dragon Ball Evolve figures as well. We have Piccolo, Super Saiyan Gohan, and Ultimate Gohan from Superhero. The art on these boxes is so good, dude. I really wish that there was a way to find the full renders of these because they're just so awesome. The art on these is always so, so good. You can see that Gohan and Gohan are apparently going to be exclusives to Walmart and Target, respectively, which is kind of interesting. If you would also like to check this out, again, I'm not going to go through the entire video right now, but if you would like to see a tour of SDCC in video form and see all of the different displays and stuff like that, it seems like that this guy, I think he only speaks Spanish, but obviously it doesn't really matter if he's just showing you around the convention, right? You can see that he showed off all of the different little displays for Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Again, this is a super long video, so I'm not going to go through every single little thing in here, but again, I will also include this YouTube video if you would like to check this out, because again, you know, this would be a really good way to kind of get to experience the event. I might actually watch through this myself, I'm not gonna lie. Drop a like on that bad boy. But yeah, so if you'd like to check that out, that is definitely there for you. Besides that, let me actually move that video to the side real quick. This was something real quick that I just wanted to talk about and throw in here. I'm not going to talk about it for too long because I know it's not Dragon Ball technically, but it is kind of crazy, right? Luffy got a new form, obviously, and that's why there was a lot of figures blank for him. Unfortunately, I think at this point, Dragon Ball definitely ain't going to be able to compete with One Piece's sales now, obviously having Gear 5 be this crazy advertised. Not only are these prize figures, right, there's WCF figures, which, by the way, I love the one of popping out eyes, Luffy. There is also all of this. Luffy is getting all of these figures, and the episode hasn't even come out yet. Also, I mean, some of these are not figures, obviously, like this is not figures, right? This is I love this one. This is a tissue holder. Regardless, though, very, very cool stuff. I'm definitely going to be copping this one, and maybe even this figure because it just looks so sick. But I digress. Yeah, the episode hasn't even aired yet, and an entire year of silence on Orange, Piccolo, and obviously Gohan Beast and Cell Max. So it's kind of makes sense why, you know, the figures are not doing so well, and everybody and their mother who likes One Piece in any regard is super crazy excited for all these figures and, you know, for the episode to air and stuff like that. With all this merchandising and advertising going on for this, it should be pretty clear why, you know, Superhero unfortunately did not do as well as it really should have. But I digress. Moving on from that, here are some other of the displays. As you can see, the BOS Gohan, GX Materia, Master Roshi, and Frieza, right, as well as Vegito and Buhan. Orange, Beast were shown off at SDCC. Obviously, these pictures are a little bit hard to see because, of course, you know, they are like in this glass case. But if we do zoom in, right, you can see that they are there. It does look like the Orange Piccolo is leaning a little bit, but I think that is supposed to be because of the fact that he's walking. I'm pretty sure is why it looks like that. But yeah, obviously, little history box display. You can see Bardock and Frieza. There's also a Polar Opposites bag that somebody has on their back in the background there. You can see that obviously they showed off Vegito and Buhan as well, which is really cool, and Ubin Goku, right? It does look like, I think if you turn them, they might connect, but just the way that they have them on display, they're not actually hitting each other. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I'm sure that if you do watch that YouTube video, though, that obviously I'm going to link in the description below, you'll be able to see this a little bit more clearly, because obviously, you know, here's all the GX Materia figures. It's hard to see them with the glare, right? Like, it's kind of hard to tell. Also, a little bit of a side note here, basically. Is this literally what this is? No. Oh, I guess I'll just show this since this is here. Obviously, the SH Figure Arts Gohan Beast is now coming out in Asia, and this is what the packaging looks like. I'll be very curious to see when I get this guy, what he actually turns out like. I'm very, very curious, honestly. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see, boys look like they will be just about to connect. Future Gohan, yeah, so these guys will actually be able to touch it, looks like. Future Gohan has a base, unfortunately, so he is going to have that little bit of a base, but it's not too big. Piccolo lean is very worrying. Hopefully it's just a person didn't peg him properly for the display. Yeah, that could also be true, but it is a little bit worrying that he does lean like that. And Master Roshi and Frieza seem a little bit off to baggy. It's kind of hard to tell because obviously, again, it's such a low quality image. I see what he means, though. Master Roshi looks fine, I think. Frieza does look a little bit weird, but again, it could just be the images from, you know, literally being taken with a, you know, glare picture. All right, and funny enough, we actually have a little bit more clear images of these guys. Again, just some quick pictures that they took. This was pretty cool, though, the Limit Breaker booth. Obviously, these guys are starting to look better and better, I feel like. I always talk about how I feel like these figures don't necessarily look crazy good, but they've definitely been looking better in certain time. Like, I think that Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks pretty decent. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And then we also have the Dragon Ball Flash line as well, which is these little mini figures here. These guys have been looking pretty decent, to be honest with you, too. Let's actually just click into the one that he commented here as well. We have this little Dragon Stars display. I really like the Janemba. I think it definitely looks pretty good. Here is the Power Up Pack display. Obviously, we have the Dragon Stars figures from Superhero as well, with Beerus there for some reason. And then, well, I mean, I guess he was in the movie, but... Then we also have this one, which was pretty cool. Obviously, this was tons of Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah, like if you want to look through all of this, obviously it's really hard to include all of this stuff in the video. But obviously this is the Ichiban Kuji booth, right, where they had a couple of the figures on display. Obviously, again, they had some of the Band Presto boys here too. Let's actually just take a look through some of this, because obviously, like, oh wow, wait, that was cool. Hold on. Oh, they had a big superhero banner at the front. That's awesome. Yeah, you can see, obviously, we looked at the diorama already. We've seen Kid Goku already, right? We've seen this stuff already. This was the Gohan that I was talking about in a little bit more close-up. This is definitely a older Gohan for sure, but I guess they don't really have anything else that would fit for that one. Here's the boy Janemba, by the way. We did get to see a little bit more of a closer up of him. I will say this is the special color version of Gogeta, and to my eyes, right, obviously he is a little bit farther away. Here's the SH figures on display, by the way. He definitely looks a lot better, if I do say so myself. The face on this one, again, it could just be the angle, but this looks so much better to me than the first iteration of this figure. The face looks actually a ton better. So I'm really hoping that the final product actually looks that good. And obviously here's the boy Janemba. I will say his face looks a little bit strange, if I'm being honest, but to be fair, Janemba kind of strange and deranged anyway. So regardless, though, I do like as well, I think we were talking about on a previous figure news video, that the shading on Janemba definitely a little bit weird. But I think for this video, they actually, you know, or this image rather, it looks a lot nicer with the shading. So that's definitely a good thing. Obviously they had these little bad boys here with, of course, the wafer figures here and the Dragon Ball Adverge figures, the Dragon Ball Evolve line. I really like the hair on Vegeta there. That's pretty cool. The great posing figures, which obviously these little minifigures are kind of stinky quality, but I mean, they are Gashpon stuff. Oh, they had the item figures on display. That's really cool. Obviously, these are little capsule figures that you can get. They, of course, had the buildable statues. These aren't actually posable. You just build these little statues. Model kits, though, Figurize Standard Light, which are supposed to be these easier to build versions of the regular Figurize Standard. And as you can see here, here's the new spec Goku and Vegeta on display, which I didn't even know they were making a new spec Vegeta, which is just a remake of the original one, but basically using the upgraded technology. And obviously they had some different cards from the Dragon Ball Super card game. They had this big display here again, which was really cool for Dragon Ball Z. Again, they had the brand new Ichiban Kuji figures on display, which I was kind of surprised to see, to be honest with you. And I think that is actually everything from this little section here. Yeah, concerning this, by the way, it is kind of unfortunate, right? I do agree with some of this, right? It's definitely the quality of the picture. Because obviously, like for this one, I don't think Gohan looks that bad. I think it's just the quality of the image. But I don't know. To this one, I do kind of agree. I feel like just the paint job on Gohan and like the look on his eyes looks a little bit like, and his mouth, like the paint job looks a little bit weird. But yeah, it is definitely hard to judge a figure though from an image that is this low quality for sure. And finally, we do have, looking forward to this week, again, we should get the Bam Presto prize figure images for Goku and Vegeta, which will be pretty cool. Sega stuff could drop any day, but expecting Bam Presto to drop near the end of the week. And I believe this, I can't believe we're ending on Sandland, but we're ending on Sandland, baby. We have the Sandland DXF, which I believe is this little guy right here, for Beelzebub. We have the Limit Breaker and the SHF figures as well. This is the SHF one, which I might actually cop these if I like the movie. I'm going to watch this movie when it actually comes out. And I think this is the Dragons, or the Limit Breaker. Is this the Limit Breaker one? It's 6-inch. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure which one this is, but this figure looks great for like a, you know, articulated 6-inch figure, honestly, in my opinion. I think his face looks really, really good. But yeah, ironically enough, ending off with Sandland there because nothing else crazy was shown in terms of Dragon Ball on Baggy's Twitter. But yeah, that is actually going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, we had a ton of different things that we took a look at in today's video. We took a look at all of the new Kid Goku stuff, whether it be GT Kid Goku or whether it be I almost said Z Kid Goku. What? Dragon Ball Kid Goku, right? Obviously, we took a look at all the stuff on display at the Dragon Ball exhibit at SDCC. We talked a lot about MUI Goku again. We talked about that, obviously, all of the figures that were SDCC exclusives. These guys are going to be available at Premium Bandai eventually at the end of August, and as well MUI Goku will also be available with the book at the end. So definitely let me know your thoughts on everything that we talked about in this video. Obviously, I know this was a very, very, very chunky boy of a video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite figure was from this one. Obviously, whenever I do one of these SDCC recap videos, they always end up taking such a fat minute because obviously there's just so much to talk about when it comes to these videos, when it comes to these events rather. So hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely let me know if you're going to be picking up any of these guys as well in the comment section below. And of course, as I mentioned throughout the video, when it comes to the big boy releases that we discussed in these videos, I will absolutely be making some individual breaking figure news videos, especially on this guy, when that stuff eventually happens. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.